What's going on, guys? Welcome to another live stream session with Phrankleen. Um, if you're watching this as a playback, thank you for doing so. Welcome to Say It Like It Is. And if you're online, you can hear me, you can see me. Hit the like button. All right. Right. Let's get this show started. So, tonight, if you can hear me, you can see me, hit the like button, all right? Now, tonight's live stream, it's absolutely important that it's not just about me talking. This is basically going to involve everyone. So I'm going to provide you with a link. I'm streaming via StreamYard tonight. And then, I'm going to need you to um, basically click on the link, and this is going to be an interactive session. All right. So let me just say, this is not a mud slinging session. Don't use this segment, my platform, for misogyny, misandry, any personally internalized toxicity, any grievances you may have. Okay, that's not the premise of this. We are going to be candid, we're going to be raw, we are going to go hard, but at the same time, we need to be civil, we need to be grown up, all right, about our disseminations and stuff. This is not a battlefield, mudslinging. Things might get slightly heated up in terms of people sharing their views and opinion. I get that, but let's be civil, let's be as grown up as possible. Right. My name is Phrankleen. I'm the brain behind this wonderful platform, a wonderfully melanated brother. Mm-hmm. So these topic basically stemmed out of numerous emails I've had with some people in the background, people that send me their email addresses, their email messages to my email address. And people going through stuff, and they people going through old stuff. So I thought, what, rather than focusing on a particular issue, if you see me looking downwards, I'm looking at my phone. All right, so just bear with me. So I thought, why not? Let's have this as a Friday banger. All right, and let's have a chat. Just give me a second. Just give me one quick second. Just give me a second. I'm trying to just sort something out from my end. Don't know what the problem is. Somebody said this topic last song, as in topic, yeah. Sorry, my computer is playing up, man. Gosh. My villagers are in here tonight, man. What's up? They're trying to mess with a brother. I don't know what the problem is, man. Anyway, the whole thing is just bloody freezing. So, yeah. All right, give me a second. Right. I do apologize. Forgive me. It's just a bit of a technical glitch because streaming via so I'm not asking you to, so some of you, I know people, they're very forward. Oh, based on the topic, the answer is no. That's not what this is about. All right. So this is not just about my personal perspective, because I know people will be itching to get involved. So, right. So this is where I'm coming from, right? There's been someone who lives in the diaspora, I've lived in the diaspora for many years. Now we're going to call a spade a spade. And I'm a man, as you can tell, right? Obviously. So over the years, growing up in the system and watching, Move to Africa. Thank you, brother. Thank you for the super chat. You know, watching how several men have been torn to shreds. Um, Thanks to the Western justice system, when I say torn to shreds, usually multifaceted. What do I mean? Various reasons behind it. Some might be 100% justifiable and all that stuff. But I've seen countless cases of good men that genuinely being the objective word, worked hard, built their lives, earned whatever it is they could call theirs. And relationship with this particular woman hit the rocks, and they get torn to shreds. They lose everything. And also, there's also the case of, because a few days ago, you would remember that Annie's Platter, thank you for joining the channel's membership. That's what's up. Now, no. You're not joining. You've been my member for 10 months. That's what I got told by YouTube. Thank you for supporting me, Annie. Now, there's been cases of, I mentioned something during the live stream about, should, men going 50-50. There were some women, their civilities left their bodies. They took it personally, came into my inbox. They were very aggressive and they were very intimidating and very rude, particularly. Man is not a man if he has to go 50-50, whatever. Everyone's got their view. So I realized that. I did that live stream and I only did the talking. And then also, I have the view that a lot of men, I made it like a sort of a joke in the segment. They spend years, and I'm talking about looking at life through the binoculars of life in the West, right? They spend years paying the bills, forgetting themselves, totally forgetting themselves, right? So if a man makes averagely £1,800, lives in central London or somewhere in London, not necessarily central London, or maybe Manchester or whatever, makes £1,900 or £2,000 or more. The long and short of what I'm saying is this whole idea of, you have to be a man. You succumb to all of this, because of the societal, sort of like a fixed template of how you are required to behave, right? You grew up, it was spoken into you. Now, you spend years paying bills, having next to nothing to save for yourself. Pay attention to this. And all you have left is, I'm the man. I pay all the bills. I am at the front line of this and this. And most of these men are usually average, basic, in terms of finance. That's what I'm saying. You spend a long time churning out all this money. 80%, 80, 70, 80, 90% of your monies go towards bills, and bills, and bills. And now, the reality for a lot of these men is, as you grow older, as the evening part of your life beckons, the bones start to get brittle, arthritis starts to knock, diabetes show up, relationship hits the rocks, something happens, due to irreconcilable differences, you get kicked to the curb. Now, some might say, we were good, along the line, he cheated on me, blah, 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 blah. Fine. The long and short is, the woman pulls plugs. Let's even assume that, it was your fault, one of the possible reasons why people go their separate ways. You've spent the best part of your life spending everything on the children, on the missus, on the bills, the credit card bills, the family this. You are the man, says the society. 70% you churn it out. The woman is clever enough. Even as a housewife, a lot of them are very, very clever. And I can't knock them for that. They make do. They save. Even when they are working, you are at the forefront, busy being a man. I'm the man. I've got to pay 70, 80%. Great. So the relationship ends now. And the long and short is you're left with nothing. You may be in your 50s now. looking at your 60s. You may even be in your 40s or late 40s or whatever. You're not as young as you used to be. You are broke. You are down and out. You're reliant on charities to keep a roof over your head, begging friends to sleep on their sofa. This is the harsh reality for a lot of men, particularly in the West. Because the truth is, forget the stories. I was the one that paid for the super king size bed in the bedroom that we used to sleep. I bought the double door fridge, the Samsung double door fridge for £600. I paid for the sofa. I used to pay 80% of the bills. I did this, I did that. Now, when you gather people, even if the nicest of them, they empathize with you, they listen to your struggle, and they tap you on your shoulder. Well done, brother. You did well. You know, anytime my children need X, Y, Z, I make it available. Yada, 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 blah, 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 X, Y, Z. The long and short is, at the present time where you are sat and disseminating all of these sub stories, you are broke, you are down and out. The ability to be able to get back on your feet, you can't even afford to string together deposit or money to get like a condo, a one-bedroom flat for yourself, even if it's a shared house, a one room for yourself. And some of these people, in the worst case scenario, in the process of having back and forth with some of these women, you may end up catching a police record, and we can absolutely sabotage you. You're broke, you're down and out, your life is littered with criminal record. You can't even get a window cleaning job. You are absolutely done. So the woman might be on the other side of the country, getting her back blown out by a youngin, another man. That's life. Now, it's not all doom and gloom, but the reason I'm trying to compress this, and I'm coming from this angle, is if I sat here and tell you individual stories, my inbox is littered. There's so many brothers. They've been through hellfire and back a ton of times. They're broken. They are absolutely destroyed. That's facts, all right? Some of them, there was one particular story, the truth be told, he brought the whole thing on himself because he absolutely damaged the woman's jawbone because he thought she was cheating on him. His blood got boiling. He connected with a clenched fist, with a jawbone. He dislocated the woman's jawbone. Of course, that would instantaneously be classified under domestic violence. So that's why I honestly said to you, and any sane person would agree with me, that he brought that on himself. So the state queued behind the woman and they dragged him through hell and back. He did time behind bars, happened in the state, in North Carolina. He did time behind bars. He lost absolutely everything. Whilst, as a human being, I empathize with him that he lost everything. But the truth be told. Now, the reason I said earlier is men and women going their separate ways is multifaceted. It could be various reasons. That's just one. So we're not going to be fixated on one narrative. But I have seen brothers who live abroad, who spent years playing God at the heart of their families. The society will tell you you're a man. You know, you're not just the size of your genitalia and the couple of balls behind it shouldn't be the one would define you by. Money plays a major role. You know, there's a huge amount of pressure sitting on the shoulder of men. And I understand it to an extent. And I'm not sat here saying you shouldn't, be a man, you shouldn't put bread on the table. for your family, particularly if you bring your youngins' offspring into existence. They didn't ask to be born. You should do the needful in that regard. But what about you? This is where a lot of men get snookered. This is where a lot of men get absolutely destroyed. The concept inscribed. Thank you for the super chat. This is where a lot of men get absolutely destroyed. All right? I've always said it, regardless of what happens between two adults, man and woman, whatever. She wakes up and just says, you know what? I'm sick and tired of the malfunctioning of your genitalia. Steve, I can't deal with this no more. Your genitalia is absolutely disgraceful. You cannot smash me to smithereens. For that reason, I'm leaving you. Oh, Steve, I do not like the fact that your pot belly, as I watched it grow over the years, is basically absolutely disappearing the size of your genitalia. Or Steve, I don't like the fact that your hygiene is deeply infuriated. Various reasons. Various reasons. So even if a woman decides to dump you because your genitalia is truthfully labeled as being absolutely dysfunctional, fair enough. But I think you'll be able to lick your wounds and get on with the rest of your life. Perhaps end up in the gym, go get medical help, whatever, right? If you have a reasonable bank account or savings to fall back upon to aid you to progress with the rest of your life. The worst thing that can happen to a man, oh, Steve, I'm tired of your genitalia. You cannot put it down as I expect. Oh, Steve, I'm sexually starved. You're a disgrace to men. Oh, you're a waste of oxygen, Steve. I've married you for 7 years. My clitoris is suffering, Steve. You're a useless man. Okay, fine. There is this guy from Amazon. He's a delivery driver, Steve. He has been laying more woods than the pencil factory when you're at work, Steve. Steve, we need to go our separate ways. Fair enough. But at least it would be it'd be a lot easier for you to navigate through the rest of your life if you have something. Now, I've heard stories of women. Phrankleen, you should be on Broadway. I've heard stories of women that have told me and said, Phrankleen, there are numerous cases of where, when the going was going good and the man, is making money and all that, and trust is a major cog in the whole system. You love your woman, as you should, and then you disclose to her, this is how much I've got in my bank account. This is this asset that I've got. This is this investment portfolio. And then the woman, you tell your wife, you let her know she's your partner, right? And then when the going goes banana shaped, when everything goes sideways, say all the disclosure, who you bank with, how much money you've got. She takes that data, uses against you, take you to the States, take you to the cleaners, wipe you out. So I've had a ton of emails where people say, you shouldn't disclose. A man should not disclose to a woman how much money he's got. It's a very sensitive topic. So I need you guys to dial in. Let's talk. Let's talk. I'm trying to. What's going on tonight, man? Somebody said never ever. Let me look at some of your comments. What's going on, man? Yeah, somebody said finance should be. Oh, okay. StreamYard. Finance should be discussed from the onset of the relationship. You're missing the point. It's not about the discussion of finance from the onset. It's about the progression of your life. It's about the life of the man. I'm talking about men now. The individual. Right. Click on that link. 2-3 minutes. No waffling. We go straight to the point. No misandry, no misogyny. All right? No misandry, no toxicity. Let's talk like grown-ups. Speak your truth. Express yourself. Let's get it. Should men... Yeah, the link is there, man. I've posted the link. Come into the studio. You don't have to show your face. Come and talk. Let's get it. Is acrimony after divorce still a thing? Just a bit curious. Right. Click on the link, people. Come on. Let's talk about this. Because those of you that have been banging on, oh, Phrankleen, bring us in. Let's be part of the conversation. That's the link. All right. Right. The first person. Jerry.
Hello, Phrankleen. Long time.
Right. Good evening, brother. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. So let's just
Now,
start off.
wait, hold on.
Okay.
You have maximum of 3 minutes. All right.
Oh boy,
So
that time, yeah.
yeah, please,
Yeah.
because the reason is I want us to go bang straight to the point so that we don't get it dragged out. So that
Yeah.
you can come in
Yeah.
and let's be civil, but speak your truth, my brother. Let's hit
Yeah.
the ground running. Go on.
Yeah. Thank you very much. So my opinion is this. First of all, before you go into a relationship, why should you have to ask yourself, why should finance be that important? Are you asking what are you earning because you want to add value or because you want
Can
to
you
know?
move closer to your mic, Jerry?
Yeah. So are you asking are you asking somebody or your partner what are they earning because you want to add value or because you just want to take advantage of what they earn because you don't want to be a giver in the relationship, you just want to be a taker? That's the first part of it. The second part of it, what is wrong with our mindset, especially in Africa, not just Nigeria, to the extent that the man is seen as a cash cow. I've, I'm gonna say it as you say. This is my truth. I've been out with most ladies, especially from Nigeria and other countries. You go out with them for the first time, second time, and you say fine because you're taking a lady out. But after like the fifth time, she just sits there and it's across the board. I understand that not everybody is the same, but it's very common. And we've got to ask ourselves, why is it that in our culture, in our societal culture, we have this premise that a woman, now again, it's not everybody that exhibits these traits, but across the board, there is this premise that a woman just has to sit down and the man just cough at money, you know and I don't think in a relationship, your number one priority shouldn't be how much you earn. Your number one priority should be the compatibility of you and that person in that relationship. I've known couples who have been together for 60 years. They don't even know what each other earn. What they are most concerned about is how they treat each other well, how they are committed to the relationship, and how they help each other out. I
Right.
know, like I know people that have two separate accounts. They have an account for the bill where both parties contribute maybe £500 a month on the bills. The rest of the money, they just have their own account. She buys what she wants to buy. he buys once he wants to buy. She doesn't goes and say, "Oh, who are you spending money on? Have you got a girlfriend? Oh, you've got a low show or something." You know, and he doesn't come back and he doesn't come back and say, "Oh, have you got a tall boy that's smashing your sugar was, or who are you sending money to?" It has to
Mm.
be. I think most times people are focusing on the wrong issues here. Why should you get angry if somebody disclose their finance? A finance is a personal uh detail, is your privacy, in my
No,
opinion.
but Jerry, I get what you're saying. You're bang on the money with that one, but the complexity that tends to come out is some have this argument that, oh, for example, if you got $10,000 in savings or £10,000, and then you let a woman know that you got 10 racks, the argument from a lot of men on the men's side of the table is, oh, lots of women's eyes will get lit up and they want to dive into that money. They want you to, they won't, some women won't stop until they touch the bottom of that money. And it's the same, particularly when there are children involved. Some women use the children as a smokescreen, and it's usually a case of emotional blackmail,
That
So
yeah.
so it might be yeah. So the children need to go to Disney. They need to go to Disney, and then you're thinking, yo, chill. I'm trying to get this new business off the ground. We can find somewhere to go locally. Still give them a treat and cut down on the expenditure and stuff. But because she wants them to jump on the plane, 3 children, and all, and I know the man is calculating, if I jump into all the flight tickets and the hotels and all that, I will smash through that money and run the funds to the ground. I don't know when I will get the next 10 grand. But some women, that's just an example, it's a random one. And I'm not suggesting that's the case for
Yeah.
all women. So some women, to get manipulative, they will create a toxic environment for that man. You understand?
That's
And
yeah.
even in worst case scenario, they will gaslight him that you would think, oh, it's just between me and my wife, we'll sort ourselves. Some women would take that detail, pass it on to their own relatives. What do you think? Like third parties would then start to, oh, right, oh, okay, he's not a good man. He's not trying to take care of,
Mhm.
his, and what tends to happen? And I'm being honest here, and
Yeah.
I'm happy for people to disagree, express themselves. That's the
Yeah.
premise of tonight's show. So what tends to happen is time and time again, most men end up caving in. Like, okay, you know what? That's fine. Like I say in Yoruba, only solenu, they cave in, and then they get caught up in that vicious cycle. Now, down the line, you may still end up going separate ways with such women. Do you understand? In the
Yeah.
name of you are the man, you're not doing XYZ, blah, 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 blah. Now, my point is a lot of men, and I've seen tons of these stories,
Yeah.
and except people want to lie and just be in denial. A lot of men have been left out, hung to
That is
dry,
why
broke, homeless, nothing to show for it.
as a man, especially black men, we've got to have that mental capacity to say, before you, let's talk, forget about being in a relationship, in a marriage, before you even go out with somebody, you have to be looking at understanding what are their financial values. These are important. Forget all these things where they tell you, say for Nigeria, say he has to show you love you by no. Look, life in the UK or every other country, your finances are important. Your finances like a religion. You've got
Mm.
to understand the financial value of your wife or your husband. If I take a lady, you can test these simple things. I don't believe in hiding where you work. If you're a very influential person, you should say,
Mm.
yes, this is what I actually do. However, your salary should not be that. You should not tell them your salary. And I've heard and I've seen on the comments somebody saying, what's the point of hiding your finances? And then when you die, the state
So
will
wait,
take it
wait,
back.
Jerry. Let's put a cap on it so I can bring the next person. So y'all, are you of the opinion that men should conceal some of their finance?
Well, what do we mean by conceal? We're not hiding it. We're not hiding it from anybody.
Okay,
It's
so
our
your point of
yeah,
view is if you have $5,000, for example, you let her know you have $5,000. but you be firm about it. Is that your conclusion on this?
You tell her you have money, you have savings, but it is your personal privacy. It is privacy. That's my opinion. I've been with my current spouse for years now. We've do things together, but we don't go about finances because we believe that is our privacy. What
Oh,
she
wait.
earns,
That's interesting. Let me dip in a little bit. Forgive me. So what
yeah,
you're saying is, with your, significant other, right?
yeah.
You don't really delve into um finance. So how do you navigate through life together then?
Well, because we both understand that if we have something to be paid, we ask each other, "What can you contribute to it?" We do have a basic idea of roughly how we earn, but we don't go into details because at the end of the day, she wants to have her freedom, and I also want to have my freedom. Now, I wouldn't run away from my responsibilities because that's not the kind of person I am. However, when it comes to finances like that, we both have a rough idea of how much we earn. I do earn more than her, but she does understand that that is my privacy, that is my personal business. She's a working woman. If she needs money for miscellaneous activities, I will obviously support her. But when we go
Somebody
into,
said, hold on, I like this. Oge Anesia said, how do you share your bodies and not finance?
because
Mm.
intimacy has nothing to do with money. That's why women would say money does not determine your way into my pants. Okay, so intimacy has nothing to do with money. Intimacy is a separate thing. Money is called financial. Money in a relationship is called financial net worth of a family. Okay, so when you're in a family together, your priority, like I say, if you focus on how much each other earn, you're going to get greedy, you're going to focus on the wrong issues, and you're just going to automatically come up with problems. Your priority should be, how can we grow together? If there's an investment, how can we contribute? I do not believe that finance is, and I do not believe, I'm not saying finance is not an important issue. I'm saying I do not believe disclosing finance to the extent you've got to tell them how much money. Think about it. I've got to tell you how much money I've got in my account down to the details. It doesn't make sense. Come on now. You're not going to tell your mother how much you earn. You
All right.
you
Thank
know,
you, Jerry. Let me
yeah.
bring on the next guy. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you, man. Fantastic. That's Jerry's views. So let's hear from Sam.
Hi, Franklin.
How are you doing, brother?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Can you hear me very well?
Loud and clear, my brother, man. So
Okay.
should men disclose all of their finance to women? What's your take on this? Let's go.
Well, my take on it is I will say from my own point of view, from my family experience, which I'm going to share with you.
Okay, go.
I believe that men should be, and husband and wife, I'm not talking of boyfriend and girlfriend, husband and
Yeah.
wife should disclose 100% whatever they are both earning, their income, their savings, they should be able to disclose to each other. My wife. When I came to UK in 2015, but before I came, I was living in Nigeria, working in a bank, and then I don't disclose my full income to my wife. I'm sure she will get to watch this on the playback here for the first time. I don't. I don't. I was, taking back 100K for my total earning monthly. I'll just say, oh, this is how I'm earning, but 100K, short of 100K, because as Nigerian boy, I want to flex and all those stuff. And
As in,
that has been,
a guy level now.
and my wife was living here, living in UK. But when I moved to UK, I was looking for a job, and my wife was working then. So it took me about 3 or 4 months before I got a job. But the job I got was not that fantastic. The earnings, my wife knows how much I was earning was
Right.
weekly, and she was earning good pay monthly. And based on our income, we sat down and she said, "Okay, I will be. Oh, since you're earning this, take this bill, take this bill. I will take on a majority." So For the like 9 months I was working doing the job, she was paying most of the bill based on the percentage of her income because
Right.
that's my wife is very practical. So, but do you know one thing I've come to understand about the way she managed finances is so fantastic. All my life working in Nigeria in a bank, this cousin will come, this will ask me for money. I send. But the moment we start living together as husband and wife, because for the first 4 years of our marriage, we're living apart. We just visit. She comes, I come to you. So I realized the way she managed the finance, and I very open to my wife, and I started committing, the income, the managing of finances, everything to her, and I realized I've been able to save massively a lot of money. After my first 1 year, I begin to get a very good job, get a contract. And she now advised me, since I'm doing a permanent, why can't you go into contracting so that we can make more money as a family? And
Mm.
because of that, I was doing contracting, changing job easily because we want to earn more. So
Yeah.
in less than 2 years, I was earning times two, almost times three of my wife's income, what she was earning. And basically, and it is on the same job she was doing. She trained me when I came, and I started working there in some on project management. So I was doing document control there. So over time, that was how I begin to earn. Even the people that have been in the role, how do you get all this? Because I was changing role, I was making more money, but my wife was managing the income. Franklin, in this last lockdown, there was a loan we took for this holiday stuff. Is
Yeah.
an holiday club that we took a loan of about 5,000, and we are paying the money to. So you can, they will give you a package that you can go on about 9 holidays. You don't have to pay for accommodation and this thing because that's how the package was. And I was surprised that my wife early this year, she said, "You want to pay off the loan?" I said, "Where do you get the money?" She said, "We have." What I did is that I have my own account. She has her own, and I have another account that I opened that in my name that we put the expenses into it. I put mine and she put hers. I was taking more responsibility because I was earning more now based on our percentage. In fact, she's the one that will determine how much I need to bring. She will just say, "This is your how much you're bringing. This is what I am bringing." I don't even. So she will just tell me that sometimes it can be 60-40, 70-30 based on my income. That's how we were doing, and we were putting the money in the account,
Let
and
me ask you something.
all.
Let me ask you something,
Oh,
Mr. Sam. I appreciate
okay,
that, and I thank you for the insight into your personal life, and it's a good example for us to learn one or two things from. But let me ask you, particularly from the angle that these tonight's show is coming from. You see, we can sit here and give a truckload of examples of um, the beauty of the union of a man and a woman. When they say the going is going good, right?
yes,
And I'm sure
yeah,
everybody with a good mindset that's listening or watching this would hope and pray that your union doesn't get bad. You spend the rest of your years together. But having said that, let's land back on the ground level now. Life is not a bed of roses, okay?
okay, yeah,
Those people that usually end up in acrimonious, type of separation and toxic, departure from the union that used to be great. Once upon a time, they were lovebirds. Things were great. They professed, their love for each other. But sometimes it's a case of irreconcilable differences. It might be domestic violence. It might be finances hitting the rock. Something, plenty of reasons. But the bone of contention here, my brother, is there are countless of cases where good men, just like yourself, good men, yeah, that have built with these women, that have worked hard, have earned, just like you said earlier, you were a contractor, it shows you're a hardworking man, you earned everything that you've got. So imagine, and I'm talking hypothetically, the same woman that once upon a time was going good. You live in a system where they take you to the cleaners and every single thing that you've got, they will wipe you out, you know? And where I'm coming from, yeah, is because I'm a man, just like women speak, look through the lenses of being females and talk about the plight of women and all that. I agree with that. I have being the fact that I've been on this channel, I bang out content. I have a truckload of stories from men whose lives have been absolutely obliterated. So that's where I'm coming from. That should men disclose everything that they've got or not?
In my own opinion, you want me to talk now?
Go on, brother.
In my own opinion, I think it's right for you to disclose. It depends on your individual, your relationship, and your partner. You have to understand each other better. I have understood my partner. We've been here over 10 years plus, and I can see that, anything that has to do with finances, I can trust her with it 100%. We are both professionals. My wife is a business analyst, and recently I changed my profession, my career, and this was made possible because of the pressure from my wife. In fact, I just changed my career about 2 or 3 months ago. As I'm talking to you, in that 3 months ago, I've even gotten another job that they're going to give me the offer letter next week. But this was made possible because of my wife. My wife put pressure on me, saying, we need to change our career. What you are earning now is basically one of the top earning in that profession. But you can earn more than this. I know that you have this potential. And, I was saying, I said, if I change, I get to this job and I mess up. They sack me. I have to go back and start looking for a job. Now, I have a job. I'm earning an income. And whatever I'm earning is enough to take up the family. Within that time, you do more training and you get another one. So don't be scared. You need to move on. And that was so it depends on the individual, the partner. When you understand that this partner is somebody that you can rely on. I know, like what you said, that people, they have been love based on this, but I have, like what I used to tell her, I said, I don't, sometimes she would tell, there was a refund we sell our car recently, and we got a refund about 8,000 something, and she will not say, oh, they paid the money. And you're not even asking about it. I said, I don't care. You can do whatever. She said, you're not even afraid that I can take all your money. I said, you have all my kids. If you take the money, I know I have the capacity to even make a better income. I don't care. Take everything. So I have, made that kind of decision, that because I have seen the time when I was alone, how I managed my finances, and this time we have been together, I have been able to manage our finances. And now recently we're working on financing and doing our mortgage. We've almost finished one. We canceled it. We have to start all over again. But this has been made possible because she was able to put on a plan that this is how we should work towards it in savings, and she has been managing the finances fantastic, very well. So I am not even scared. It depends on the relationship, your partner. If your partner is not the kind of person that is driven by that is greedy, let me put it that way, that is there are some women that you cannot even trust with your 500. That's not the kind of person she is. Because if not because of her, I am just kind of person that this one we call, I send money to her. That's what I used to. It was her that was able to call me to reduce all my excesses of sending money to people in Nigeria and this and that. It's one of your Omoti is one of your friends. That's my wife. So it's somebody that I am. I don't care that either.
That's your wife. Oh
yes,
I didn't know.
So
nice one.
So I don't care, because I don't care. I say, even if you take all my money today, I am not even scared to start all over again from the beginning. But I know I have the capacity to make more, to even make more money. So so it doesn't really bother. So it depends on the relationship you have with your wife. That is it. In my own opinion, you need to, be very open with your finances, because we are open. That is why we are able to, have a good financial plan. Now, when we're going on holiday, I don't even have to contribute money. My wife will tell me, we have money. You know what? I was talking about something that you caught me off the other time, that my wife paid off a loan of 5,000 for one holiday. Do you know what? Before the lockdown, we were paying after school club for our kids, about 600 every month. You know, all those during the lockdown, they were at home. I was still paying the same, monthly expense into that account. Over that, the lockdown, through my wife was able to save that money, 5,000 to pay off that loan. So when she told me she wanted, I said, "Where do you get the money?" She said, "We have money in that account." I don't even open the account. It's on our app, but it's in my name. She's the one that controls it, all the finances. And she was able to take out money to pay off that loan, 5,000. I didn't contribute. And we're going on holiday now in December. She didn't ask me for any money. I said, "Where do you get the money?" He said, "We get the refund from the money that we book." That's how we manage our finance. A lot of time we gone on an holiday some 2 weeks ago. I didn't put a cover down. My wife will say it's from the excess of the money. So somebody that manage finances like that, and you want me to now be doubting that, she knows all my income, she knows everything that comes into my account. I don't. So that is, we're very open. This time when I was not open with her, I know that what it cost me. But now being open has really made us to have a very good plan as a family.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
And shout out to Omoti. Thank you. Right. So, Mr. Sam has shared very kindly his personal life. I allowed him respectfully to carry on, but he didn't exactly touch on the premise of tonight's show. You see, and I wish him all the best with his relationship. I genuinely do. But there are countless multi-millions, thousands upon thousands of people in similar situations. So I'm trying to touch on our inner minds. I'm not trying to force any narrative out of anyone. There are tons of brothers that women have run to the ground. That's a fact. Phrankleen, I am concerned about their well-being, and I'm concerned about how us men can improve our lives in terms of planning our finances. I'm not here going against, I also love my woman. I love my wife. Big shout out to her. So that's not the point. And I believe in building together and all that stuff. But many a time, like I said, a lot of men, particularly us Africans, yeah, I can already see some people mudslinging in the comment section. And that's the thing. I don't want to block anybody. I want everybody to be part of this conversation. But many a time, yeah, I've seen a lot of men end up having, I'm talking good men, I'm not talking about bums, men that women have taken monetary advantage of. Okay, let me give it to you raw. Sure, you know that. Yes, in Nigeria, place like in Nigeria, let me give it to you straight. If a woman tries to, I'm a believer in something. If you build with someone and you have to go both ways and all that, go both ways, and take whatever you're entitled to. That's fine. But if it was in Africa and you think just because you're unhappy in the relationship, you want to go, and all you want to do is just clean out the man because you feel entitled, you brought vagina to the table and you gave a couple of kids. Forgive me, but that's my choice of word right in this moment. You would try hard. And I mean you would try hard. Do you understand what I'm saying? If somebody built with you, she's deserving of 50% or whatnot, take it. 40%, if we build something together and we have to take it. I don't even subscribe to the idea of taking advantage of suppressing someone else. No. But you see this whole idea of, because we all know, particularly in the West, the Western, I'm going to bring on the next person. I can see you. If there are women on here, you want to come in. I want to hear from women, actually, constructively, actually. That's the link. Click on it. Come and talk. Don't be afraid. All right? It's open to everybody. There's tons and tons of cases where men, you see, it's like people are beating about the bush. Oh, you have to. Women love security. Women love protection. So what you are really clamoring for, you are loudly, desperately advocating for in the timelines. Oh, yeah, you've got to be open with each other. You've got to. Yeah, I get that. And I'm not saying don't be, but it's more like behind the statement. Some of the people, I'm reading your comments. There are some people you can just size them up with their mindset, even from a distance, even in a chat room, right? Yeah. The man, we have got to be open. So yeah, the openness, let me know so that the day I decide to F you over, I know what you're working with. Because check this out. If somebody decides to take you to the cleaners and knows that you have 20,000 pounds, they will go like a dog with a bone. After the 20,000 pounds, they will. I just used a random number. But if you have a backup of 80,000 pounds, let her take the 20 racks. As long as she can't locate the 80 racks. Okay, I don't care anymore. I don't want to be with you anymore, right? The 80 racks, I earned that joint myself. You want to go? Bye. However devastating that relationship is, you'll be able to pick up the rest of your life knowing you have 80,000 pounds somewhere. I'm going to be all right. But if I have 100,000 pounds in terms of assets and money in the bank and they clean you out, you pick up the legal fees in the process and all that, you're shattered now. Where do you start from? Do you see where I'm coming from? I'm not here advocating for people not to be open book. But I won't bring it where they count out. I want Jenny, there's some women, the type of money that nobody made in their bloodline, they will suck it out of you. Mr. Ubong, are you there?
Yeah, thank you, Frank.
Forgive me. 3 minutes, my brother. Let's go. What do you think?
Yeah, this is a very nice one, judging by what's going on, And I totally agree with your line of, reasoning. I do agree with Samolu. Total disclosure seems very good and attractive too, for both you religious, unreligious people. But that depends on the kind of woman you have at home. So as a man, you should be able to know who you have with or who you're dealing with. There was a case of a colleague, when we were working in Nigeria, I used to go to the field and he tried to give his woman open check because those days you don't have this ability to transfer money. And she almost wiped the guy, clean. So in such cases, you can't do that. You can't, completely expose everything you have. Because if you do that and you get to hit the rocks, where do you go from there? So it's good to disclose everything. But if you have a woman that keeps trying to know pretty much everything, every detail, and she's spending crazily, that's the red flag. You need to have something for exit plan. You're not being an evil man.
Sorry to cut you. Let me even add to that. You know what's interesting? There are some women. It's easy to sound like a greedy woman. Those ones are, they just want to spend. And then you're like, I've got to roll back a little bit. There are some women.
Yeah.
They are organic, smooth criminals. What do I mean? They have it in their DNA. They are mellow. They don't make a fuss. But they have brains. Woo! Einstein, or what do you call those? Whatever, the high people with the best IQs can't touch them because they can see everything about you. They don't have to even make too much demands. It'll be one day when everything goes south. And it's the data that they have on you that they will use against you. And I'm talking particularly in the West. I hope you understand where I'm coming from. Wrap up, my brother, so I can bring on the next person. So what do you think?
As I said, there's no almighty formula. It has to be, based on individual. You don't pick my formula to work with it. You have to find out what works best for you. Don't feel guilty to have something for soft landing, because it is necessary. Every woman that wants completely open terms also planning for soft landing. So you need, even if there's, for me, I'm in Canada. I've been around, moved through, working in Saudi Arabia, and we kept it quite open, because in the Middle East, women don't work. So she needs to know pretty close to what you're earning. The bank move as far as giving your wife a credit card, supplementary credit card in your name. So we've walked through the tide. And then as a man, you need to put investment in Nigeria where it seems a little bit protected. Some part of your property could be in Nigeria. For me,
so you agree, my brother. So you agree. Bullseye. I love that statement. That came in a very subtle manner. That there is a bit more protection for men in Africa, right?
Sure. And women know. Those that move to the West, they know.
And you agree that women know this?
They know. I don't hide with my wife.
They know that there is protection for men in Africa.
Yes, they know. And they know. And I make transparent with my wife. So we moved to the West because West is good for the women. And I'm sure, and they are aware. But for the man, that when you went in Africa, you try to usurp what African gift is more of a man's world. You oppress the woman. She might wait for you when you cross over to the West. And then when she comes for you and everything.
I'm not even for, let's be clear, right? I'm not for weaponizing Africa as a means to oppress the woman, because I hate that. It's not really about oppression. But I like the point that you made, my brother, which is in Africa, it's not like people don't go to divorce courts, but now you just can't take everything.
No.
Here in the West,
you can go zero or negative.
God damn. That's what I'm talking about. So as a dude, as a man, it's not because I have resentment for women. No. I'm thinking. I'm a logical person. I don't exist in the conventional box of reasoning. I see my brothers. I'm married. I love my wife. My wife is probably watching me right now. Sure. But what I'm telling you is, I'm not afraid to speak my truth. My brain spins like a tumble dryer. I've seen a lot of men destroyed in the West, and I mean absolutely destroyed. They will never get back on their feet. So should we take those experiences and sweep them under the carpet, or come before the camera here and pretend?
No. For me, I think the formula is, okay, you have a joint account, family account, everybody sees it. And she knows how much you earn in terms of, okay, she earned close to this, and this is what we spent. You should have savings for yourself, undisclosed, but she is beneficiary in case you die. So you can bounce on that to get your life back while you guys figure out what to share. If you hit that undesirable spot, we have to split, then you know that, oh, she can move on, I can move on. I don't want to move down to zero, down to negative, to start coming back. You may not survive if you are in 40s, 50s, you may not get back on your feet again. So in as much as here is good for the women, we should try to figure out how to make it better for both of us.
For most women, and I'm not going to apologize for this.
For most,
the whole idea of signing the dotted lines for most women is a sense of security, securing themselves. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you, Mr. Ubon.
Thank you, man. Thanks for your.
Thank you. Let me bring on, is it Hawa Ali? I don't know if I pronounced her name properly. Hello, are you there?
I'm here. Good evening. Good evening,
First
Phrankleen.
of all, how do you pronounce your name?
Hawa is my name. Hawa. It's a Nigerian name. I'm a Nigerian. I'm a Nigerian. I'm a Nigerian woman.
I just wanted to make sure that I didn't come across rude or anything. Right.
No,
so
it's okay.
let's hear from
Hawa
you.
is my name. It's two sides of the coin. First of all, I'm a legal practitioner, and I've been practicing in Nigeria for 8 years, and I came to the UK, and to me, it's a matter of law, love, and finances. First of all, I want to start with my antecedent. As a Nigerian child growing up to a father of a civil servant, my father was just a civil servant. I was aware of his salary, and the reason he told us that we're 4 girls, 4 daughters in the house. He told us his salary and my mom, so that we wouldn't make demands that exceeded his salary. And that worked for us because we knew what he was earning. We just couldn't make demands above that, so that we won't expect him to go and steal or something. Now, on the issue of marriage, husband and wife, I think we are failing to understand that marriage is a social contract. Marriage is a social contract. And there's a dichotomy between a social contract when love enters it. So when you talk of finance and business stricto sensu, you are advised to leave your family out of it because you get emotional and sentimental. So because marriage is a social contract, so coming to the UK, to this jurisdiction, I have seen that the men get, the harshest part of the, the stick. It doesn't favor them at all. There's no room for customary law. There's no room for Islamic law. There's no room for anything. Whereas in Nigeria, you can choose the type of marriage you want to do. You can get married under the Matrimonial Act. You can get married under the customary law, and you can get married under the Islamic law. And when you are dissolving your marriage, you're going to dissolve it based on how you got married. So that when I marry, for example, according to Islamic law, when I want to get a divorce, I go to a Sharia court. If I do it in the customary way, let's say I go to, Yoruba land and I do my customary marriage and Edo state. So when I'm going to dissolve it, I'm going to go to the customary court. So, but if I go to the marriage registry, that is getting married under the Matrimonial Act, I have to dissolve it through a court. And it is when you go to that court that what happens in the West is going to happen to you. So what is happening in Nigeria now is most of the women, when they're getting married, they'll say, okay, I'll do Islamic marriage, I'll do marriage in the village, but let's go to Abuja registry and sign a document there, because they know that if they dissolve it based on the matrimonial cause supersedes these things I'm saying, but you're not bound by it because Nigeria is under like a common law jurisdiction. You cannot foist the matrimonial cause. For example, I am a Muslim and I'm not married. When I'm getting married, there is no way I'm going to marry under the act because there's just so much quagmire. Like it's just like there's so many lacunas as far as Nigeria is concerned. So like should your spouse know your finance? Father and daughter, me and my dad, there's this ego, super ego. So you have this you are emotional about your dad. But when it comes to a spouse, it is a social contract. When the chips are down, oh my God. See, two people that were in love, it's just going to what I've handled divorce cases. You see, I've handled divorce cases. I've gone to matrimonial court marriages. When you see them in court, it's just like these people. I mean, they have kids together. You won't even believe that they slept on the same bed. So when it comes to social contracts like marriage, I think we have to really, really be careful and not wear our hearts on our sleeves. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Absolutely smashing. Thank you very much. I love that. Woo, brilliant. Absolutely smashing. Thank you, my sister. I appreciate you for that. Very, very, very well articulated. Lionel.
Franco, how you doing, man?
I'm all right, brother. So what do you think? Let's go.
Can you hear me clearly?
I can hear you loud and clear, bro.
All right. Well, first I want to give a shout out to Miss Ali on she hit it around the head, because all I've been hearing is some people in the chat, not a lot of people in the chat, and some people that's coming up. You can't live the way you lived in Nigeria in these Western countries. It's a different society. Just like when you speak about going back to Nigeria, that we can't necessarily live the way we lived in the UK, Australia, Canada, America, and Nigeria, in these other African countries. It's a different system. So when you understand that, you can't come here with this macho alpha African man, I pay for everything. You can do that by all means. You got the freedom to do that, but understand that the likelihood of you down broke is very, very high. It's extremely high. And so I've been to divorce court. I've seen other people in divorce court. I had two lawyers that don't know each other tell me that they rather work a double homicide case than deal in a divorce court, because there's more loyalty in a double homicide case than it is in divorce court. It's ugly. You don't understand. And she's absolutely right. Men get the hatchet We get the rough end of the stick. I tell you this, well, to answer your question,
Yeah.
yes, it should be 50-50. Absolutely. Bills should be paid 50-50 or according to a person's income. It should be a joint account where both the husband and wife put money in to pay bills and to put money in a savings account. The man has a right to save and have money on his own, just as that woman has a right to save money and have money on her own. With that said, the man cannot get mad if that woman saves more money than he do. He cannot get mad. He cannot perform any retaliatory or jealous acts just because she saved more than he do, and vice versa. She cannot perform any retaliatory acts or jealous acts just because he saved more than she do. She can't be mad, and he can't be mad. And like I said, there should be joint accounts. The way the West prices, cost of living is highly expensive. And the average, and
Absolutely.
we talking generalizations. We're not talking about specifics. Of course, there are exceptions to the rule. Of course, you're going to have people that say, "Well, I do this." Well, me or me. We're talking about generalizations. We're not specifically talking about you, sir, or ma'am.
Yeah.
The average American, and therefore I'll extend that to the UK income, depending on where you live, does not really support the man, wife, and let's say 3 children.
Hmm.
One income. You need 2 incomes. So if a man or a wife says to a man, you need to pay all the bills and provide for me and 2 or 3 other children, that man's life span is shortened because of that. His quality of life is shortened because of it, because he's stressing trying to work 2 3 jobs because he feel, oh, I'm a man, I should pay everything.
Yeah.
It's more than you just want to be a African man. It's more than that. I give you an example. My birthday was just the other day. A woman asked me
Right.
on my birthday to give her $400. What? Listen, we live in an equality country, both America, UK, equality. I'm not going to block the blessings of these women to go out and get their own job. And because of that, we need to come 50-50. That does not mean we paying 50-50. We cannot build, we cannot be successful in that manner. We can. But you have to understand we live in a country that one person working and taking care of a full family is not sustainable in the long run. People need to get their emotions and feeling out of this and think pragmatically and think on the level of, okay, we live in this country that we need all hands on board in order to make this work.
I really enjoyed, just like you, Miss Lee's, contribution, and I love the fact that she wasn't sentimental. She just gave it to us straight, right? Let me ask you this, Lionel. Just a quick question. So, do you believe that men, I've always been about, listen, man, if you're married, you got kids, you got family, do what you have to do to support your family. But do you think men, particularly those living in the West, should have some sort of monetary backup for themselves, just in case the whole thing goes banana shape?
100%, because marriage is, yes, it is a social contract, but there's a lot of emotion in it. And when people say, "Oh, we getting married," the emotions are running rampant. You go through the whole circus act of getting married, walking down the aisle, or whatever people may choose to do to get married. There's a lot of emotion in there, and you're asking, or you're not asking, but you're accepting. You want that person to hold that level of emotion and that love for you through the whole course of your marriage, be it 5, 15, 20 years. Emotions
Hmm.
change, and a woman or a man may stop loving that person for whatever reasons, they may want to leave. And depending on who makes more, that person can receive the short end of the stick. And now that person say, well, in America, you got to pay 20% of your income to take care of these children. Oh, you've been married over 10 years. Oh, you got to pay alimony on top of child support. You may have a mortgage. You may have student loan. You may have a loan. You may have credit cards. You may have student loans. All this adds up. So yes, that person needs to have, both sides, man and woman, needs to have some type of financial backup just in case things go right. You wouldn't tell anyone not to save just in case they lost their job. You would tell them save money just in case you lost your job, just in case, rainy day fund. Same thing with marriage. Yes, you can have a prenup, but yes, yes, please, both, not just men, but both men and women.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man.
No problem.
Thank you.
All right.
All right. Bless up. Right. Bring on the next woman. Nice. Mrs. Adilti. I think I remember her. Hello. Right. Bring on the next woman. Nice. Mrs. Adilti. I think I remember her.
Good evening, Phrankleen.
Right. Good evening. Please mute your. I can hear myself in the background. Mrs. Adilti.
Hello, can you hear me clearly?
Yes. Go on, please.
Okay, good. Yeah, good to catch you live today. And this topic is really interesting. I decided to just, make some few comments.
Yes, please, go on.
I think personally, it actually depends on the kind of a partner that you have. And I think each and every spouse should put up their thinking, cap, wisdom. Because when you're dealing with somebody, you will know, the type of person that person is. And I know people do change, but you know what? When people show you who they are, you've got to believe them. So in my own case, we do basically, I dispose my income. My husband knows my income, I know his income. We do things together. And I would say all our assets is in 100% joint, and each of us have got access to it. But having said that, that is me, with my husband, because we've been married now for over 22 years. But however, I do have a friend whose wife, is like to spend money, and he earns well. So anytime the wife gets to know that, there's money, she always wants to spend, but the guy is, have financial intelligence to know that you go plan for the future. So he doesn't disclose all his resources to the wife. And there's another case as well that, the guy wants to keep sending it to the family all the time. So again, the wife doesn't disclose everything. I think it is whatever floats the boat, of the couple. Yeah, but generally, I believe that if there should be a trust in relationship.
Yes, absolutely.
And if that trust is lacking, and we know things can happen, divorce, separation, and all that. So that, and each person have worked hard. I don't think it's fair for one person to take it all, while the other person, tries to struggle. Especially, God forbid, if things go haywire in your 40s or in your 50s, where are you going to start from all over again? Some people never make it back. And you will notice that is this kind of financial pressure, child support and all that. When a guy is, get to ground zero, that brings this anger, this annoyance, and sometimes can even lead to killing, somebody, because the guy is thinking, how come you can take everything that worked for in my life and I have to go and start from ground zero? So I think basically it depends on the partners, you're with. But even though you have the trust, you have the integrity, I think each person should still have something to their own name, as in terms of cash. In our own case, each person have got their cash. But when you talk of, property, asset, business, is in joint accounts, as in joint names, but each person still got their cash, to their name. Do you get what I mean?
That's nice. Yeah. Before you go, when are you coming to give us a refresher about poultry business again? Because they've nearly killed me asking about you, I should have emailed you all this while, but I just got busy myself. And people have that I bring you back. You come and give us a refresher session about poultry business and all that.
It's actually even interesting because some people do actually reach out to me on Facebook, and you won't believe, I think not less than 5 people have actually kickstarted their poultry, business, from that interview. So even somebody just launched just 2 days ago, got his what's it called, poultry cages, they're buying beds from where we bought beds. Another person started in February, the construction and everything, and they've launched in July. So some people have actually, take it on and actually kickstart. Some are buying lands and other. So it was good that I could be of help to share that information. Okay, we could talk off camera for refreshment.
Yeah. I'll send you an email afterwards. Thank you,
Okay,
Mrs.
thank
Adeoti.
you.
Thank you.
Cheers. Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Fantastic contribution from Mrs. Adeoti. So, if I think I've got one more person, J. Ray, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh, that's a lady. I actually thought it's a dude when I saw Jay. Hi.
It's okay. It's an alias. Yeah. So to answer your question, I would say disclose with discretion. There are certain things that you can disclose, but you don't have to use. How do we say? You don't have to use your whole mouth to say what's going on. My husband and I, he knows how much I make. I know how much he makes. Like the number, because I feel like that to me, it's a little bit silly to not know how much your husband makes, especially if you're applying for things like a mortgage or, if you want to start something, the bank will ask you for that information. So it's a little bit silly. You'll find out how much your partner makes. But then at the end of the day, I think after that, I feel like it should end there. You should talk about, these are our monthly finances. This is how much we have to pay monthly. This is how much I can contribute. This is how much you should contribute. We have our joint savings account, but then you should have something on the side for you for a rainy day. There's no Nigerian person on this call that will not, like, especially the women. You can't tell me that there was no time that your mom called you aside and told you as a woman that you should have your own business, or sorry, not business, you should have your own account somewhere for a rainy day. If that applies
your vex money.
Yes, exactly. If that applies to women, it should also apply to men as well. You should have something on the side for a rainy day. And then to the lawyer that talked about it earlier, there's a very thin line between love and hate. And I admire everybody that has said, they trust their partners, and I wish them all the best, but you really don't know who somebody can become when things turn upside down. You have never experienced, we're all in loving relationships, but there's a kind of betrayal that happens that you don't even expect how you yourself react to certain situations. We've all been in different situations, and we're like, I know if this happens to me, this is how I'll behave. It's easy to do these, armchair analysis of how you would behave, but when you're in the heat of it,
exactly,
you can't even predict how you as a person will react. So in my mind, I feel like it's a little bit juvenile to think that, because you trust somebody, you can trust them even when things are intense. There's this movie that I saw last year. I don't know when it came out, but it's this movie called Marriage Story. I don't know if anybody has seen it, but it's about a couple that was going through a divorce. When they started the divorce proceedings, we were like, oh, yes, it will be cordial, of course. Like, we just want to end this on a high note and, go our separate ways. It's going to be easy. And then the moment the lawyers became involved, everything turned upside down. Again, you don't know how you react when you're pushed to the wall, when you feel like you're being betrayed or you've been betrayed. If you feel like, everything that you've been working for years to build with your partner is kind of on the brink of collapse, you cannot how you will behave. Because of that point that that you cannot predict that, you should have money saved aside for when things turn to, you know what I mean? So
when if we just unpack that bit about you should have money saved aside. So basically, we're talking about monies without footprint.
Yeah. I have investments. My partner has investments. I don't ask. He doesn't ask me. Because we both understand that as much as we love each other, we should also plan for our lives. And you know what? Eventually, you know, we might love each other, be together 50 years, and then in our retirement, we're like, you know what? Yeah, I have this amount saved, you have this saved, and you can have, you know, you can go into the sunset with your thousands of dollars that you've saved over the years. That's the best case scenario. That's the best case scenario, but we don't know what's going to happen in the future. Let's stop behaving like, you know, we can read minds, we can see the future, we know what's going to happen. We know that our husbands will never cheat, or our wives will never cheat, or we won't meet people that you know, would turn our lives upside down, meet the wrong friends along the way. You don't know what's going to happen. So prepare. It's like, you know, car insurance. You don't know if you're going to get in an accident tomorrow, but you have to have it in case you get into that accident. Because by the time you're in the midst of the accident, the last thing you want to be thinking about is how to spend money to fix someone else's car, or, you know, pay for somebody that you've hurt by God forbid hitting somebody in an accident. So if we can use our brains to say car insurance is important to save ourselves just in case we get into an accident or we don't, you know, it's something to have at the back of your mind for safety, then we should be able to do that with our relationships or with our, you know, marriages and stuff like that. That's how I see it.
You know what? That's quite absolutely refreshing, particularly coming from a female, a woman. I appreciate your contribution. Thank you very much for saying that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. You see, before, let me see. I think there's one more person. You see, I appreciate everyone's contribution. That's exactly where I'm coming from. You see, if I'm being honest, let's be a bit vulnerable here. This is not like trying to draw, it's not a gender war. It's not actually trying to draw battle lines and stuff. There are also cases of men who have also taken, you know, unfair advantages of women who are perhaps wealthy, and the women let their guards down. And we've heard stories like that. So I'm trying to strike a balance here. Like what J. Ray said, I think when you look at trust, some people, it gets to a point, maybe in their lives, if it works well for you, that's all we all clamor and hope for, right? And it might get to a point in your life where you let your guard down a bit, like, okay, you know what, man? Yeah, I'm dying next to this woman. She's dying next to me. We're good now. But like the lawyer said in a comment section earlier, there are divorce, 34-year-old marriages, and I've seen that. Been married for 36 years. Boom. And look at the man's age at that time. The woman takes absolutely everything, and you're left with nothing. That's my concern. And I love what Miss Ali said earlier about the you know, types of marriages and, you know, unions that we have, like in Nigeria, for example. There's a case of a gentleman that I know who lives here in the UK. Check this out. For most women, the marriage thing, particularly this, is security. Forget love. Some people are, you know, love is great. We need love. It's important. It's a crucial ingredient. But I know the case of a gentleman. Let me chip this in very quickly. He's married to who I will regard as the love of his life. The woman has brilliant ideas. They're young. It's a young couple. Let's buy a home here in the UK. Let's get this mortgage. Let's do this. Let's do that. Oh, let's give consideration to cryptocurrency. Let's have a bit of a portfolio there. If you listen to the conversation between them as couples, you'll be like, there's nothing to see here. That's a good woman. That's lovely. That's how couples should do. They should build together. And, you know, we're going to have children. Let's buy this property. We're going to start raising babies, blah, 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 blah. So one day, the man said, I'm going to go do XYZ in Nigeria. I'm going to buy a parcel of land. I want to own a farmland. I want to do XYZ. I'm going to do this in Nigeria. I'm thinking of building a hostel close to a university, rent it out. However fascinating the idea, I mean, the wife could also join hands with him and say, oh, that's brilliant, my love. Let's you know what, babe, let's build this hostel together. Why don't we do this together, right? Anything that falls outside of the jurisdiction of the United Kingdom, she was absolutely against it. So he didn't get it. We were having a conversation. He's banging his head against the wall like, what the bloody hell have I done wrong? Like, you know, if I told my wife, I showed her, like, look, I've got this idea, like, to take advantage of our dual nationality. We emanated from Africa. We're both Nigerians. Yes, you came here when you were a lot younger, blah, 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 blah. I said, but what's wrong with that? And I said, slow down. I usually remove myself away from couples' business. I'm not the type to really, you know, put my mouth. The most you will find me do is talk on my YouTube channel, which is a generic approach, right? I don't like getting involved and telling one partner what to do, because if they solve their problems, I don't want them turning around and say, oh, Phrankleen said, that you become the bad guy. So I read between the lines and I said, no, the woman is clamoring for security. So that down the line, if she needs to wrap her fingers around your balls judicially, if she needs to grind your nuts together, if she needs to drag you to the guillotine, she will behead you. She will crush your nuts within the laws of England. She knows it's going to be a tedious uphill battle. She might not be able to do a forensic trace properly. She might not be able to navigate through the system of Nigeria. She wants to get deeply rooted in the West. Now, what do you think? For me, I think that's a bombshell waiting to explode somewhere in the not so distant future. That person, through their reaction alone, has shown you what they may potentially be capable of in future. Do you understand? There's a difference. Don't get me wrong. If I wanted to go do something and I ran it by my wife, and then maybe my wife objectively, critically is looking at my decision and say, babe, don't do that. Why don't you? That's different. Your wife can be the guiding light, can actually say, are you sure of this investment? Why don't you do this? Or why don't you do that? That's totally different. Because if somebody frowns upon an idea, it's not a problem. That's why we are together. I want you to talk to me constructively and try to, okay. Babe, why are you buying the land there? You're not even sure if that land, it belongs to the people you're buying it from. Don't end up losing money. This is. Now, that's a good woman who's thinking constructively. But she doesn't want you to have anything outside the confines of England. It means she's trying to sort herself out, and she desperately wants to procreate as well. So forget the woman, leave the woman on the shelf. I'm thinking desperately on behalf of the brother. Down the line. Within the confines of England, she has the ability, once she aligns with the best lawyers, easy work, man, they will run him to the ground and clean him out. What becomes of, men like that? So I think that's what we've pretty much learned from this live stream tonight. People have talked constructively. Save a little in your back pocket. Be a good man, treat your woman, enjoy life together. But save a little in your back pocket. I am my woman's #1 fan. I use myself as an example without delving too much into personal details. So I want to see my woman win. I want to see her be great. So well and good. But as a man, save a little for your back pocket. I said a few days ago, and I will say it again. If you're a man, you're a black man, you are listening to me, you're an African, listen to me. And I will say it. Don't let anybody use emotional blackmail to tell you that you've got to part with 80 to 90% of your money, in terms of paying for everything and having nothing. Anyone can put their snout up and say yada 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 blah 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 blah. So I'm gonna give it to you raw. take care of your children, pay their school fees, clothe them. If you have enough bread, join forces with your woman, enjoy family holiday, be a good man. But anaye jarai, save for yourself, look after you. I admire women for something, yeah? It doesn't matter how little most sensible women, except I'm not talking about the reckless women. Even if a woman is a housewife, that she has limited income, women have this beautiful thing about them. In that little income, it might be child benefits, it might be the state's pittance. They know how to put 1 or 2 away. That it might just be a little £100 or £200 that she pulls out surprisingly one day, and you'll be like, huh? Where'd you get that from? They know how to string. So how much more when they have access to much more money? By default setting, women are clever. Men, we've been trapped by this societal conditioning of, oh, you got to put your chest. A woman sent me an email. Oh, God forbid, I would never. Oh, Phrankleen, you're talking about nonsense about men going 50-50. I would never. I reject it in the name of. Go gorai. They're going to so what? They're going to sabe. Go gorai. I'm talking to my black brothers right now. My gorai. It's absolutely possible for you to be a good man to your woman. Yeah, it's absolutely possible for you to put bread on the table. It's absolutely possible to build together. It's also absolutely possible not to leave yourself hanging. I don't care what anyone says. Look after you. It's not a crime. Doesn't mean you love your woman less. If shit hits the fan. Somebody said, let me look at this. Poor men have zero usefulness in marriage. How is the rest of the patriarchy get these except African men and men of diaspora? Of course. Do you understand? I've met men older than me, almost twice my age. You meet them and they're talking through how when their bones were a lot stronger, you know, how they loved their women. Stuff happens. The whole thing goes sideways. And the woman aligns with lawyers are sharks. It's what they are trained to do. Actually, if a good lawyer is on your side, you will enjoy them. If a good lawyer is against you, god damn, they will crush you to the marrow. It's what they are trained to do. If somebody's owing you money or somebody has treated you wrongly and you have a good lawyer that can put the door off the hinges on your behalf and they bring home justice, you'll be glad. You'll be like, that's my lawyer right there, man. That guy is sharp as a blade. He knows his stuff. He's absolutely fantastic. If that lawyer goes against you and tears you to shreds, it can absolutely change the course of your life forever. I've sat with gentlemen in their 60s, late 50s, mid 50s, some late 40s, and whereby they are victims of, divorce, manipulative women. Whilst the going was going well, they didn't remember to look after themselves. They got thrown out of the properties they bought. They lost everything. They lost absolutely everything. Some of them hide within the confines of a bed sit with their flat caps. They just get on with life. They find some younger ladies who helps them with cooking because they don't even have a clue about food recipes. They can't cook to even cater for themselves. They just sit down and their best friend is a bottle of beer here and there, a shot of Hennessy. They try as much as possible to laugh away their sorrow. Diabetes is there, erectile dysfunction. They're not getting as much sex as they would love. Their life is bland. If they hear that there's a Nigerian African party somewhere, it's a means for them to just let down and have a bit of fun, dive into the jollof rice, do a bit of dancing, go back into their bed sit again, repeat the process. There are plenty of men like that. There are plenty of men. Not all of those men were bums and stuff. Some of them are just victims of circumstance, victims of the terrible system. And they didn't have good financial knowledge, which is also a bummer. They didn't know to invest. They had nothing. And they hit the rocks. Believe me, man. So it's just a harsh reality about life. It's not about gender war. But if you are there, my God, look after yourself. Looking after yourself is not a crime. Just like some of the women said tonight. Women should, I love Jay Ray when she said, men equally as women. Do you know what I mean? That's where I stand. That's where I stand. Don't let anybody use emotional blackmail. If you're currently feeding off the buzz of, yeah, so when they're talking, yeah, I'll pay all the council tax with your basic salary. I'll pay this, and okay. It's all well and good. You're the big man. All right, cool. I pay for everything. I bought all the flight tickets. So after all is done, how much do you have in disposable income? And you have nothing to write home about. You can't even say in a month you have 300 pounds or 500 pounds to yourself. So what is it that you're living for? What is it? What you're feeding off the accolades of people clapping for you on the sidelines and you're a man. Who are these people? Who made the rules? Ma told you, alright. That's all I'm banging on about. Two humans who can stand on their own will make a better couple together. Thank you. I think we'll wrap up on that. So this is why I'm saying I came at this objectively and I wanted to hear from people. This is not mudslinging. This is not Bob. Fam. You know, like somebody told me one time, we'll talk about that some other day. Women love security. But at the same time, can I be honest? There is nothing wrong with that. Like some people said tonight, it's also very important the type of partner you are with. But also at the same time, you could have been with the best partner. Something can go wrong. Okay, check this out, yeah? Check this out. I am not saying it's fair for, as an example, for, okay, some women, maybe they've been having a good relationship with you, it's been going good, and then you get busted for shagging someone else. Okay. And the woman goes, emotionally, I can't cope with this. I've got to carry on with the rest of my life. It's best we go our separate ways. You know what? I respect the woman's choice. You got to suck it up and keep it moving. You try to apologize, whatever. And she goes, nah, I can't do this. Some women might be able to forgive you. Some might not be able to cope emotionally. I get that. But guess what? I don't think it should then be grounds for such woman to clean you out and take everything that you've got. No. Do you understand? She has the right to her free will. She has the right to move on. She has the right to dump you by the wayside of life and say, nope, Mr. X, I'm not doing this with you no more. But I don't think any woman has the right to run your finances to the ground, take all of your assets and clean you out for those reasons. I don't agree with that. And that's usually the demise of a lot of men, because they will run you to the ground, they will break you. And that's that. Frankly, some women go into marriage for different reasons. Of course, that's multifaceted. If you give her STD, then she has the right to sue you. Oh, those are extenuating circumstances. You know what, man? If you give her STD, I agree. And she, and she becomes a two-headed dragon for that reason. I agree. That's a totally different one. Whoa. Whatever you get from that, you deserve it 100%. If you bring home STD, God damn, you deserve that. Now that's crazy. That's crazy. That one is in a different league. You understand? So if you bring home STD and the woman starts to itch, goes for blood test, uncovers the fact that you brought home some junk, then whatever. They just passed a law in California making it a crime to stealth. Oh yeah, you deserve her wrath. Whatever, man. Whatever comes in that regard. You shouldn't, and it's vice versa. It's not gender specific. You shouldn't give anyone STD, man. God damn. You know, what if you give somebody HIV and, you know, you change their lives forever? You absolutely destroy them. That's whoa. That's crazy. So that's even scary, man. You got to be careful, man. So because if that woman turns to a three-headed dragon and decides to tear you apart, I've got to be honest, man. No sentiments. Yeah, you brought that on yourself. So thank you to everyone that's contributed. I'm hoping to see comments in the comment section. We'll drop the shutters on that tonight. I hope we've learned one or two things. I've said it and I'll say it again. To my brothers, to men, don't leave yourself hanging. It's absolutely possible for you to be loving, to be caring, to be an open book. It's possible for you to build an empire, but don't leave yourself hanging. Don't leave yourself hanging. Don't leave yourself hanging. Yes. So don't leave yourself hanging. You understand me? Somebody said, let me answer this. Here we go. Phrankleen, so your wife doesn't know about your savings. Oh, my wife knows. I discuss finance with my wife. You understand me? But I don't leave myself hanging. You get it? I don't leave myself. I love my wife, love my children, love my family. But I don't leave myself hanging. And this is what I'm saying is not aimed at my wife or suggesting that, oh, I'm going to wake up tomorrow. No, I wouldn't do that until something plays out. Then you can act on that. But fam, don't leave yourself hanging. It's all I'm saying, man. So for sensible people, you read between the lines and customize that statement as it suits your personal life. That stuff is dirty and blah, 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 blah. Hit the like button. Thank you very much. So, you know, I don't know this person is saying. I don't know what you expect me to say or how you expect me to. Don't leave yourself hanging. That's all I'm saying. Even some of the women, very smart women that contributed tonight, they've said it. I say it in Yoruba language. Yeah? Who said, wow, she would not have access? Who said that? Where'd you get that from? I hope you're not watching another YouTube channel. My wife is my next of kin. How about that? In everything, Victoria is my next of kin. She's the mother of my children. So that's, you understand me? But I've said it 1,000,001 times. So I don't know what, maybe you're trying to, what do you call it, man? How do you say, man? I don't know what you're trying to get out of this. You understand? Oh, say not you, Phrankleen. Forgive me. I thought it was me. My wife knows how much I make and I know our income. However, we both know we have separate accounts that we respect and keep for ourselves. Men, always protect your neck, balls, and life. On that note, it's good night from me. Hit the like button, smash the subscribe button. Let's keep the conversation going in the comment section below. Thank you to everybody that's contributed. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you to Miss Ali. I like the fact that you're not just being a woman, you're a lawyer. Your professional point of view is beneficial. Let me just say to those of you, there are some very toxic people in the comment section. I'm not going to name you, all right? We will do better in life, first of all, okay? I don't come here as an epitome of knowledge, but I also learn in the process. I speak my truth, but it's nice to have this conversation. This is how we can get better within the Black community. A lot of us, our parents dare not even have this conversation between themselves, amongst themselves, whichever way you want to put this. And a lot of us are products of such unions. So you grow up, you grow into life with limited view, with toxic interpretation of a lot of things, and you end up, you know, with ugly decisions, and, you know, it doesn't end well and stuff like that. We're trying to get better. Personally, I'm not interested in gender wars and all this mudslinging and all that. But of course, in the process, we also have to call a spade a spade. So, but for those that always like to come in and say, oh, you men, oh, you this, man, take it easy. Learn something. Maybe even you can get better in the process. Thank you and good night. Bye-bye now.